Let's go to Tampa. Ronald Jones running back 29 for net 31. Is Jones going too high? Should he be going over for a net period?
Oh yeah, Jones is definitely going too high. I mean, just when it comes to this backfield, I'm, a bit cautious because who knows how it's going to turn out with Gio Bernard. Now they have a legit pass catching back there, but am I crazy?
AKA Dario Ogunbowale. Like that's Gio
Yeah,
Bernard
exactly.
take the Dario Ogunbowale role.
Right.
A couple
But
years
I
ago.
mean, am I crazy for thinking Leonard Fournette is worth it at like, I got him in the Scott Fishbowl at like running back 39. Like, I'm not high on him, but just I think the potential is there where, when Ronald Jones is on the field, it usually indicates they're going to run the ball. If Gio Bernard's on the field, it's probably a pass play. I think Leonard Fournette gives the defense something to think about where they don't know if it's run or pass. So I'm thinking, there's a chance we see playoff Lenny for the entire regular season. I think the chances are low, obviously, but I think, he's worth a gamble. And, they acquired him mid-season last year, so it wasn't until the playoffs that he broke out. So I think there's still some potential there with Leonard Fournette. If I were to pick any back from this backfield, he seems like the obvious choice.
Yeah, like Fournette is like LeGarrette Blount and Jones is like Mike Gillislee at this point. It's like except Fournette's going to catch more balls, but like I think Brady likes Fournette more. I think remember Fournette's
That's
still
all that matters, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah, right. And Fournette's not that old, and he was a guy that we used to take top 10 in fantasy. Jones was like we were like going on a limb for taking him even in the top 24, and which he usually doesn't like pay off anyway.
Right.
Fournette got released from the Jaguars, the worst team ever, because fine. It was Jones got like benched by like in his rookie. Like Jones just has a lot of volatility, and if he doesn't hit like 80-yard runs, he's probably not catching any balls. So yeah, I think it's absurd that he's going ahead of Fournette. I think like we forgot that Fournette was like considered a really good running back. But he showed it again the minute he had a chance in a good offense. So Brady, is he his top 10 quarterback still? He's going as QB9.
Yeah, Brady's a top 10 quarterback. I mean, this offense is just loaded. Look at the receivers, look at the tight ends. I'm thinking the fact that he had that kind of season after being in the same offense for 2 decades, to have that kind of season with, a limited offseason, he's going to be even better this year. We could see the same thing we saw with Peyton Manning. Remember, he was with the Colts forever, and then he went to Denver. Yeah. He had a really good first year where he threw for 4,700 passing yards and 37 touchdowns, and we're like, wow, that was amazing. And then the next season, he threw for 5,500 yards and 55 touchdowns. We could see something like that happen. The only thing that I think would prevent that is this Tampa Bay defense is elite. So it's going to prevent, shootouts where they need to put up 35, 40 points to keep up. The defense being good is kind of an issue with Brady where it kind of limits his upside a bit. But I think, he just has like the highest ceiling in this offense because it's been a while since he's been surrounded by so many weapons like this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the only argument for Jones is like if the defense is good, then that number 2 running back, gets to just salt the clock away.
I'm just gonna fade.
I'm not high on Jones. I'm just kind of give the outcomes, for best ball and roster construction. Gronk at tight end 11 worries me. Howard's at 23, Brate's at 39. I just remember how they used Gronk down the stretch. It was like Brate is the number 1 tight end. Now you have Brate and Howard here. I mean, I just think it just worries me that Gronk is not going to be that every week consistent guy, and you're drafting him as a top 12. But where are you on Gronk?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. I mean, if we remember last year, OJ Howard got off to that great start. After 4 games, OJ Howard was the tight end 16. Gronk was tight end 38, and we were joking like he came out of retirement to block for Brady. What's this?
He kind of did.
Broke out. Yeah, then he broke out after Howard went down. So I agree. Now that Howard's back in the mix, all 3 tight ends are healthy. I'm kind of fading all of them. You kind of need one of them to miss time to pay attention. Just the route tree, the route share is just too scattered right now. So I'm passing on all 3 right now.
All right, what's our prop for Tampa?
Tampa Bay. Let's see. Oh, Antonio Brown, total receiving yards this year, over under 735.
I have 750. So yeah, another like half yard per like a full yard per game. But yeah, I think that's the range. I think you got to expect some shenanigans with him. You got to expect maybe him to get hurt. Where's his motivation after getting that ring? But at the same time, he's still a really good receiver. He's not going to get double covered in this offense. So yeah, that's why I am about about, in the 40 something yard per game range, just because they have so many weapons. Mike Evans is the 13 in an ADP, Godwin the 16, and Brown the 42. Is that kind of where you're at with these guys?
Yeah. And like when it comes to Brown, he has room to grow in this offense because his routes run per dropback was around 65%. So, if you project him for 80, 90, the sky's the limit with him. But like, do you think that like Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson are going to chip in, or was that because they acquired Antonio Brown midseason? They didn't trust him to be 80, 90%. Like, where are you projecting like his routes run percentage when he's healthy?
Right. I think around 60, around the same. I think it's because like this is the twilight of his career. Arians, I think Arians is kind of used to managing these veterans. I mean, that's why I think you saw, splits between the tight ends, splits between the running backs, even. And, like he's got to manage these guys. And I think Miller and Johnson are talented enough that there are certain, because like, remember, Tom Brady threw to Antonio Brown as like his like James White almost. Like that's what Antonio Brown was to Brady. It was like his efficient guy that's going to be open underneath. Whereas like Miller and Johnson, those guys can go deep. Those guys can go downfield. So I got an area of Godwin, and they're gonna have tight ends, and what I mean. So it's just like I think Brown's role is gonna actually be very similar, and it could even decrease because like remember in the postseason, I know he was a little banged up, but like you don't need him every week to be Antonio Brown. It's just an embarrassment of riches in Tampa, really, which is amazing. So so we're in the same range though. I think he's a nice pick in the 40s, but probably a little better in PPR because Brady's throwing him underneath.